This is Hillbillies in the Bush, and I've been asked, I've got quite a few subscribers, not all of the guys that subscribe to me as Bushcrafters. While I'm at it, thanks guys for watching my channel, I really appreciate it. It just started out that on this channel, it's the boys channel, and we done a few videos so that they could show some of their buddies at school. The wife made up little cards so that they could take in and give them to them with our YouTube name and let them know that it is a family channel, and we try to keep clean language on here, rated G, as much as possible. But I do appreciate the subscribers, and I appreciate all you guys' really kind comments and everything, but not all you guys that subscribe to me are Bushcrafters. So this kind of goes out to the non-Bushcrafters that are wanting to get into it. The question come up by a couple of them that, well, what is Bushcraft? And I Skype with quite a few people off and on most every night, not always, but most every night. And the question was, what is Bushcraft, or what is a Bushcrafter? Well, I got to thinking about that, and in my opinion, now some of you guys may agree with me or disagree with me, but my opinion of a Bushcrafter is someone who studies survival scenarios. For instance, if you see somebody putting up a shelter or practicing making fire, this is all stuff that, and there is no real survival thing, because survival is just that. If you're in survival, you're already in trouble. You better have the knowledge before you get into that situation. Knowledge is power in this game. If you're planning on being in the woods or in the bush a lot, doing a lot of hiking, if you're out of woods that you don't know, you're several miles in, anything can happen. You can get turned around. As a fact, I've got a story to tell someday when I was a kid, how I got lost in the woods or turned around, and how scary it was, because I was about 12 years old or so, but I'll tell that story some other time. But it can be very frightening, especially for a little kid, but you know, most little kids nowadays aren't alone in the woods, but for an adult, it can be terrifying, I'm sure. But you know, the study of, like I say, if you're in survival, you're already in it. I mean, there's no, you know, hey, this is survival right here. Sorry, I'm in town. I'm just up in the woods a little ways. I can see houses. It's not like, you know, I mean, unless I fall and break a leg and compound fracture, and even with that, it's almost downhill. I can crawl clear down to there once I get something, you know, attached to my leg. But in my opinion, bushcrafting is the study of survival scenarios. For instance, building fires, building shelters, just, you know, and it goes into other things, but a lot of it has to do with practicing for survival scenarios, or practicing your skills so you won't get in a survival scenario. You do not want to be in a survival situation, because I've never been in one, only when I was a kid. It didn't take me but a few hours to get out, but you know, and it was scary, but you know, it wasn't really life-threatening. We don't, here in Ohio, well, maybe in Wayne National Forest or something like that, you could have miles and miles that you're in any direction with, you know, without seeing houses or anything. But most of the places around here are populated. Now, when you get out west in Montana, Colorado, Texas, places like that, if you horseback in, something happens to your horse, you're really in trouble. But in my opinion, I hope that answers the question. Bushcrafting, or bushcraft, is being in the woods, enjoying it, practicing your skills. Hopefully you'll never need them. But not only that, if you happen to go camping, it's nice to be able to produce a fire within a few minutes. It seems like nowadays I try to see how fast I can get a fire going. Basically because, you know, the longer it takes to build a fire, the longer, you know, the shorter time, you only got a set amount of time to be in the woods. If you spend 2 hours trying to make a fire, there's 2 hours less that you got to do something else. So, for instance, this little fire I built to cook my tea on didn't take but maybe 5 minutes, and it was rocking and rolling. It was ready to hang the pot on. Now, I did use a lighter, but I could have used a match, I could have used a bow drill. Pretty much within 5 minutes you should have a fire, and it should be a good enough fire. Well, in fact, a stick got thrown into it, and kind of smashed it down and everything, but all I had to do was rake everything back up and it was good to go. So that's what I call a sustaining fire. I know a lot of people have different views on what a sustaining fire is, but that's kind of going off topic. But anyway, what I think, or what is bushcraft, in my opinion, it is being in the woods, enjoying yourself, you know, trying to have a little bit of fun, being with nature. There's a connection there. If you spend enough time in the woods, you can feel it. If you're alone, usually, when I'm with my boys or somebody else, generally I don't feel that connection. When I'm by myself in the woods and I sit down and I'm quiet, still enough, I can hear it and feel it. The woods has its own song. When you come into a set of woods, you're invading it, and all the animals know it. If you're there a while and you're quiet enough and you sit still long enough, they start to come back, and the woods has its own song. But it's really nice to get in the woods and enjoy the time and practice bushcraft. And hopefully we'll get into some more of it, making spoons and different things to show you guys some other stuff. But I hope that answered your question, guys, and you can agree with me or disagree with me. You know, you can leave the comments below, but in my opinion, that's what I think about it. Actually, some of the bushcrafters that watch my channel, I'd be interested in hearing what your thoughts are on it. If you agree with what I just said, or you think maybe it's somewhat right, but and if you have another spin on it, make a video response to it. I mean, I have no problem with that. You know, I'm not out to say I know it all or anything like that. That ain't the case, but that's just my opinion of what I think, what is a bushcrafter or what is bushcraft. It's basically wood skills, and if you want to get technical, in my opinion, it's the practice of survival scenarios. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, and until next time, we'll see y'all later.